There, this is the RC leading RC-126F hexacopter. It has 6 rotors mounted on 6 arms symmetrically, 3 blades on each propeller instead of the usual 2, and a camera that records at 720p. It has this glittery black canopy with green and white LEDs on the underside, complete with matte black landing gear. This model takes an 800 mAh battery at 3.7 volts, which will give you around 5 to 6 minutes of flight time, instead of the advertised 8 to 12. You can unplug the camera to get around 30 seconds more flight time, and a micro SD card goes in the back of the camera to record videos. This is the 2.4 GHz transmitter. It comes with a monitor that hooks up using a cradle. The monitor has a 5.8 GHz receiver inside to get real-time first-person views from the camera. Latency is noticeable but considerably low. Although the transmitter looks cheap compared to the hexacopter itself, it works well enough. The RC-126 is kind of underpowered for its size. It doesn't accelerate very fast and tends to have difficulty resisting the wind, though it can be quite stable in the hands of experienced pilots. It survived head-on crashes and falls with minor damage, although the weakest part is the bottom shell holding the landing gears where it tends to fracture. The hexacopter flips automatically on command. You will have to be at around 3 meters high to get sufficient clearance, and it seems to struggle to recover from the flips. It has a one-key return function as well, but it doesn't work, so we'll not be showing it. You're now looking at the headless mode. Usually your aircraft moves forward in the direction of the head, but in headless mode, I can yaw the hexacopter anyhow I wish, and when I push my right stick forward, it will always move forward relative to where I'm standing. In the case of the RC-126, it always assumes the head direction is where you are facing when it is paired up. There are 3 speed settings on the transmitter. What you are seeing in this video is speed 3, which is also the most responsive. However, I'm not flying at 100% of the speed setting as that would be impossible to film. Speed 1 is too sluggish to fly with, and I think beginners should start at speed 2. Speed 3 isn't that fast actually, but it is a good speed for flying in the park. The camera starts transmitting video to the monitor once you switch the system on. The first-person view is great, but as you can see here, the camera angle is too narrow to fly safely by only looking at the screen. This model doesn't have an impressive range, especially among residential areas saturated with Wi-Fi signals. You can get around 10 to 15 meters of range, and it may sound short, but by then your hexacopter will only be a small blob. And remember, the first-person view isn't too reliable to fly with. The camera records at 720p, 30 frames a second. We've upscaled it to 1080p for this review. The clips are generally free from wobbling, though you can see some if you look closely right now. The colors look natural, with some magenta tint especially on grassy scenes, and I am bothered by the softness of the images. And it seems like the lens is slightly out of focus, but it is fixed, so there's no way I can adjust that. The file format is Motion JPEG. Not the best compression, but it records at a generous 14 Mbps, resulting in a larger file. To take a photo, you press the camera button on the transmitter once, and to take a video, you hold the button down. Since the microphone mostly records nothing but motor noise, we are not going to bother with sound quality. You can get decently stable videos if you fly slowly, and that will take practice. Try not to pitch forward and back too much, as that will point the camera towards the sky and you will get hard exposure transitions. Now you're looking at the hex flipping in first-person view, and you can see the exposure transition I was talking about. This RC-126 cost me around 100 Sing dollars. It isn't as fast as I want it to be, and the video is soft. It looks cool with the glossy and glittery finish, and it has a good build. I would say the RC-126 does what it promises, and for 100 Singapore or 72 US dollars, it is a step up from most nano-sized quads. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments section below. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.